very much again. I don't consider my expert in anything actually. I'm a graphic designer by trade. That's my day job, and I've been doing that for over 30 years. And I don't consider myself an expert in that. I wish I had a fantastical story to tell you about how I became a numerologist. I wish I could say that one day a vision appeared to me, or that I hit my head and I started seeing spirits. But the truth is, it started really small in my teens. I had gotten into astrology. I gave books out as gifts when I was in 8th grade, and I even played with the Ouija board in 1985. And when I go back and look at my chart, there's a reason for why I'm telling you this. I was in a 7 personal year with a friend who's a 7 life path, and 7 is all about spirituality. And let me tell you, Lisa and I, that thing would fly. I don't think I would ever have one in my house again, but that thing would fly, and we would ask all these different questions. So the spirituality was kind of always in me. Then in my 30s, I dabbled a little in feng shui, mostly about placement of objects. So I was really always into, I'll call it the metaphysical arts. In 2018 is really when I got more into the metaphysical arts. So I started really researching astrology and tarot. I took Reiki, then I got into numerology, and then I even took a course with a feng shui master. So I really dove deep into feng shui. And there have been times when I've known or predicted something, but so just as my life path, I feel like I have a high intuition. So that's just a little background for me. I live up in northern Jersey in Westwood. I do numerology readings at least once a month. This month is a crazy month. I have back-to-back weekends. I was just in Bordentown, New Jersey. Next week I'll be in Wurtsboro, New York, and I do private readings around, like if someone's near Bergen County, I'll meet with them at a Starbucks, or I do through Zoom or like Google Meet. So what is numerology? It's literally the ancient study of numbers dating back to 500 BC. Many cultures have numerology. There's Chinese, Babylonians, who rely more on like a sound vibration rather than the alphabetical order. Jewish, the Kabbalah, has 22 letters. We have 26. And then even Indians have the Vedic numerology. I personally believe that numerology is a tool for self-reflection, understanding others, and I believe it can be healing. I truly believe that I've become a better person because of numerology. I feel I've been a better wife, a mother, hopefully my son agrees, a daughter, and a friend. Because I learned about myself, and it's not easy. It's you're learning the good, bad, and the ugly when you learn numerology. Numbers are universal, though. They exist everywhere in every culture and in every field of knowledge. It's the belief that numbers are more than just quantities, but they carry a meaning. And as Cindy said, it's a vibration, and it actually shows you an insight into the patterns of our lives. Pythagoras was a Greek philosopher and is attributed to modern Western numerology system. What numerology is it's based on the alphabet and the meaning of their numerological, I just said that wrong, value. So A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, and so forth. So there are numbers from 1 to 9, and then we have 11, 22, and 33, and they're considered master numbers, and they don't get reduced. And it's cool because I think of each number as sort of like a personality or an archetype, or if anyone has seen the Disney film Inside Out, they're sort of like little characters. So when I'm doing readings, and I've done hundreds of readings at this point, although I started studying in 2018, it took quite a while for me to truly get out there and truly realize that this is something. So in 2023, I started doing my first readings, and the validation I got was all I needed. And within a few months, I had the audacity to do this huge expo, a 3-day expo, after just doing readings for a few months. And getting back to all the different archetypes. So when I'm doing readings, I kind of like pull them down almost off of a shelf. So we have 1 through 9, and then, like I said, 11, 22, and 33. 1, I won't go through all of them. I could do that a little bit later, but 1 is the vibration of A, J, and S. It's the leader. They're the pioneers. They are the inventors. They're the CEOs, kind of like a Steve Jobs at Apple. They act with courage and they take chances. They take risks. Then you have BKT, which is the vibration of 2, and they're a little more docile. They're the peacemakers, the diplomats. They sort of stay under the radar, but they're actually considered the power behind the throne. They're doing all the work for the 2 without getting the accolades that, say, the 1 has. And then really briefly, the 3 is the communicator, the 4 is the builder, the hard worker, 5 is adventurer, 6 is caretaker nurturer. I'll read for a lot of nurses or people in elderly homes that have the 6 life path. The 7 is the seeker or the loner. The 7, if you recall, I spoke earlier, I was in a 7 pinnacle when I was into doing the whole Ouija board, and I did it with a girlfriend who was a 7 life path. So there's definitely spirituality there. The 8 is the boss or the manager. The 9 is the humanitarian. And then we get to the master numbers. The 11 is a spiritual messenger. The 22 is the master builder. And the 33 is the master teacher healer. So they all of these numbers come from your date of birth or your name. And from a person's date of birth, I can tell them their life path. So the life path is the lessons that they came here to learn. So for example, if you were a life path 8, you came to this earth school to learn all about money. You're going to be learning about not only the materialistic side of money, but also the spiritual side. So you're going to be learning having money and possibly not having money. I know life path, I have a few life path 8 friends who don't have to work another day in their life. One worked on Wall Street, and another her husband's also an 8 life path, and he's, 6 figures, 7 figures a year. So, but they're also the most generous people I've ever met. Then I have my aunt who's no longer with us. She was also an 8 life path, and she lived a very humble life. So I think it's very interesting, the difference between what someone came down here to learn. So for instance, I'm an 11-2, I'm a spiritual messenger life path, and it took me a long time to figure out what exactly does a spiritual messenger mean. And I know that sounds silly to some people, but I did realize I'm here to give a message. And it's not for me. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not scamming anyone. I was the silly girl who decided to learn the numbers. And now I understand that I'm supposed to give messages. And I will say words that I've never said in my entire life to people. So that, and I know when they smile that I've tracked it. There's something special about what I've said to them. So I'm an 11-2. I am truly the peacekeeper. I want to live under the radar. Home is very important to me. I don't like getting into fights or any kind of conflict. But if someone were to come and attack me, I can absolutely fight back. And in other words, I've actually started fights, and that's not my nature. That's probably because I was unbalanced at one point. So there is a good and there is a bad to the numbers. So that's your life path is just from your birthday. Then from your name, every single name. So if you have a first name, a middle name, and a last name, all of those individual names equal a certain number. But combined from the vowels in your name, I can tell you your soul. It's called the heart's desire. So I can tell you truly what you want inside. It's sort of like the secret you. It's what your heart's desire is all about. From the consonants in your name, I can tell you your personality, how you're perceived by others. Then the vowels and the consonants together equal what's called a destiny number. And your destiny number is sort of the power of that name. It's the purpose of your name. Then you have your birthday number, which is literally just the day of your birth reduced down to a single number, and that's sort of like the gifts that you have. Then I also look at the maturity. The maturity number is literally the goal of your life. Then usually when I'm doing readings, I like to look at different energies. So I will look at not just your original birth name, your maiden name. I will also look at your current name, see what changed when you take out the middle name, or you got married, or you switched your name for some reason. Like, what happened? What changed? Who did you become? I think that's a better saying, is who did you become? Your base numbers from your original name are always there. It's just there's another energy on top of it. And I also do, during readings, I can look at specific and significant ending years in your life. So I can tell you, it's almost like chapters in your life. I can tell you from, say birth to 33, what was a significant ending year in your life. So it's crazy. A lot of times I'll have people say they got sober that year. I happen to have bought my first house that year. Some people have gotten married. So, but it's literally, I can pinpoint, it's not me, I say me, but I can pinpoint through your number significant ending years. And that's a 9 energy. 9's all about completions and endings. Then I talk about pinnacles, which are sort of like achievements during your life. They're good things. And then I can tell you challenges along the way. And I think that's really important, to understand your challenges. It's not that you won't overcome them. It's just something to try to overcome and to really learn. It's more lessons that you're going to learn. The biggest part of numerology for me lately is what's called an excursion chart. And I have not come across another numerologist who does that. I know online, if you were to ever get a report, you'll see what your year is like, your personal year, or what your month is like. I know how to calculate all of that, and I literally do excursion charts where I'll do, say, letter size paper, and I'll fan them out. 4 of them will fan out, and I literally can see your life, every single year of your life, and the energy that's in that year, which comes from your personal year, the universal year, your essence, which is sort of like an internal thing. And it's all from literally the letters of your original name and your birth date. So I think that's really cool. I do it from birth to 99, and it is so incredibly accurate, and it stuns me. Every single reading, someone will say to me, this is like incredible, or like yesterday someone said dead on. It's literally, your life is written out in numbers. And I'm the one, my friend calls me the dot connector, because I'm literally figuring out and it's all from your numbers. So I think that's just the coolest thing. So it has helped me understand people. I literally just have to know someone's life path or their soul, and all of a sudden I've kind of figured them out. Like, I know their Achilles heel almost too. I think numerology is absolutely amazing. And it was just literally one day, it was in the library, and I picked out this book, and I'm like, what is numerology? And I started reading it, and it was because of my son that I stuck with it. His numbers, I said to my husband, is this not Ian? And then I did my husband, and I did all my friends. And then you look at yourself and you start to see the good, bad, and the ugly, which I talked about before. But it just is absolutely, it's incredible. That's why I became a numerologist, and I absolutely love it. I try to study it every single day. I'm not an expert in it, because literally I will learn something new almost every week. I am different today than I was last week with numerology, because I learned something, or a tweak, or now I call this out in the field. So this is all self-taught. I learned from online. I read books for 8 years, and what I see in the field is something you cannot get from books. So that's another really cool thing, and maybe I hope to write a book about this someday. But I'm seeing things in the field that you cannot read, and that I take something from every single reading. Every single person has a little twist to the number, and I kind of put that in my brain, and the next time I'm doing a reading, I'll recall that information. So I think it helps someone to understand, okay, this is why this happened. For one quick I did a reading last week where the woman had a personal year and it matched the universal year. So the universal year goes from calendar, so it's January to December. That energy was the same. She, like this year, we're in a one universal year. It's the fire horse. And she also had a one personal year. It goes from birthday to birthday. So she called it Murphy's Law. She said, anytime it rains, Carrie, it pours. And to me, that was the reason. She has double the energy that we're all kind of going through. She's got double that. So it's tough. It's cool and it's tough, but finally she almost had like an aha moment, which is kind of really cool. And I have aha moments every single day because of something, there's a little nuance to a number. So that's my story. It's not fantastical in any way, but it is fantastic. And I hope to do this for many years to come. And I enjoy every single person I meet. I learn from, I have stories I can tell you. They're just absolutely incredible. So I think that's all.